Hey Napoleonic fans, we are back with another NTW3 battle for you here today as we have the Prussians marching into battle. The Prussians are here, as they say in Waterloo in the 1970 version. But we're here with a glorious 4v4 here as we have Russians on both sides in this one, Prussians, British, Ottomans, and plenty of French. It's a custom game that I was taking part in a few days ago. And it was a really, really fun one. And it was pretty damn close, actually. A battle of two different flanks, really, that's for sure. As we have Cossacks here charging in against 1806 Russia here, the 10 point. And they're chasing down these dragoons. Active. They are not. I don't know. They are running. They're just not speedy enough. And they are going to be caught by the Cossacks there. We've got Cav going in over on this side here as well. More dragoons going in. And they are challenging against some Chasseurs Cheval. And the chasseurs have been dealt with. So, and the artillery is gone though. That is what they were trying to save. The guns there, but those horse artillery pieces are gone. Bit of a shame because that would have been a very handy unit to hold on to. But we've got, looks like some Fusiliers moving forward here. Plenty of light infantry to come forward and challenge the French in this one. That is for sure. Yes, over on this side as well, we've got another cavalry charge going in. Russia here, but this is 1807 Russia, the Polish Russia. Routing some of the French cav, along with the Ottomans. And another Ottoman cavalry unit coming in there. Getting rid of some Chevaliers. And that is a lot of French cav now off the battlefield, indeed. As, yeah, looks like some Hussars and some Chasseurs. And then those Chevaliers as well. But yeah, that was a really, really good haul there. So yeah, we have 1807 Russia, like Poland here, and then we have, I believe, it'll be something like 1808 Russia. I believe this will be. That's on the Imperial side here. But yeah, we got Russia on both sides. Very confusing if they ever fight each other. But luckily they're on opposite sides, on opposite flanks. That's for sure. But yeah, and then we've got the Ottomans over here as well, Ottoman UK, so we've got technically two UKs, but also we've got some Turks mixed in amongst one of the UKs, though it is mostly a redcoats. When looking at their army here today, I'm seeing a lot of Brits, and these are big units, like the Yellow Bellies, 196-man unit, insane. Stuart Minorcas, which isn't really a British unit, but 193, yeah, even still, these units are big. Then we've got some Turks back here as well, which is good to see, and they're 211 in size. My gosh, they're big boy units that the Turks are bringing here today. But yes, if you're a fan of all things NTW3 and want to see more Napoleonic shenanigans, then you know what to do. Do leave a like, subscribe if you're around here, and a comment show support. It really does help out the channel. And yeah, if you ever get involved in any sort of streams or want to send in any of your own replays, the best place to send them in is to my Discord. The link, as always, is down below in the description. As we have the Lily White 7th here, which looks gorgeous. I love the uniforms of the British Hussars. They are setting up. It's a pretty expensive unit there from 1808 UK. This is the other faction that we have here today. We have the Tow Rose as well. Oh my, that's going to be good. The 185 foot guards will do a lot of damage there. We've got the Staffordshire Knots. Yeah, we've got some big units here as well. We've got 1808 Spain only brings big units, to be fair. So they can't really bring cav. It's one of the things that they struggle. They only have Hussars, I think, available. And they're pretty expensive. And it does include a combat gen of Uxbridge, if I remember correctly. But now I'm trying to remember what factions we were facing off against. I think we had Italy over here. This was an Italian campaign. And then I think this is 1815 over here. We have obviously Russia, which is an entirely different faction in itself. And then I don't know what this faction was off the top of my head. This might have been Spain, or it might have been a Russia Center, one or the other. It might be, I think it might be Russia Center. You know, no, the uniforms would suggest maybe Spain instead. It's so annoying that we can't see, like we have fog of war, so we can't see all the French like names and units as well. Because it does help, because France, you know, a bit more of a trouble trying to identify them because they all look the same to the uniforms pretty much, which is a bit of a shame. Artillery already getting like hit over here, nearly routed. Just a singular horse artillery as well. Oh, they have actually got the horse gun crew back onto it. That's at least something. That is something, I guess. There you go. It's been routed. The artillery dueling here, the 8-pounder got rid of it. That's a small win as well. There is another large gun emplacement over here. The French love their artillery, though. That is, you know, Napoleon being a former artillerist, he did love his cannons. Got plenty of infantry sitting in the back here. Lots of Laguerre that would be kept in reserve. Generals knocking about right now. I've got cavalry go really far wide over here. We've got some hussars going really wide. They are going to go and look for potential kills.
I fear your general is in mortal
someone's general's in mortal danger. The Russian one over here getting shot at by artillery, I'm guessing. We've got Konstantin Romanov leading the way. I was playing as this Russia army over here. I've been playing in this faction quite a lot. Usually, I kind of change it up from what I usually do. But also, mainly because I can't remember what I usually build. I always kind of like edit it slightly, I feel like. We've got the Pavlovsk Grenadiers, of course. The greatest Grenadiers, the Russian army in the field. Beautiful, beautiful unit. They are going to do great work here. And then got the Grenadiers Moskva. I got multiple of those. Got a combat gen for one of them as well. So we've got, yeah, plenty of Grenadiers there. And then a whole bunch of Musketeers, really. Just, that's kind of my vibe. I look for ones that have pretty high melee stats of their own. And then we bring those. And also units that are over 100, around 150. We need mass. Even though I do get forced into a gunfight, I can stand there for a long, long time. And we have Prussia over here, setting up there in a gunfight as well with France. I feel like that's definitely what they want, Prussia. I don't know if that's necessarily what France wants. These are big units though for France. Absolutely massive units. That's like this unit here alone is huge. It looks like, yeah, I was going to say, Prussia looks like he's losing these gunfights, so we are going to see a charge in a moment here. These hussars, and I think they're going to be going for that artillery piece, which is not well guarded. There's no cavalry around it, and that should be an easy snipe, you'd imagine. Got howitzers coming in, hitting the hussars here, though I think both sides have plenty of howitzers here today. Go, hussars, go! Get the guns! Very nice, very nice. Squares formed by the French. I don't feel like they needed to. They should know what the Prussians want to do. They want to get in and out. They want to get that gun. They don't want to hang around. It looks like, though, that the Dragoons here are going to, yeah, just touch the Hussars and that routes them. And then the Dragoons might counter and go for the guns. No, they do not. We have got a howitzer here, though, for the French. This is just chucking cannonballs into the air. They all missed. They will do morale damage if they can get a direct hit. But we have plenty of our own howitzers here today. I brought some howitzers, and then the Ottomans over here have also brought plenty of howitzers. So we are, yeah, we are basically playing a howitzer game. I think these are all, yeah, howitzers here as well. This is going to be disgusting. Let's put it like that. There's going to be a lot of artillery and a lot of explosions going on here today. It's going to be glorious. That is for sure. Russia over here charging Britain. We've got the Robert Crawford with the black bobs as well. This unit has literally like over 100 reloading skill when it has the Robert Crawford combat gen. And yeah, they're coming out of square. They're definitely doing something what I would regard as cheating. They are going to get Robert Crawford now, sadly, which is a real shame, I think. But yeah, they were basically stood on the edge of the square, forcing it to stay in square while also pushing forward infantry. I would call that cheating, really. It's really scummy to do. Apparently, it's yeah, and I agree, to be honest. If you do it further away, that's fine. Doing it right next to the square, pretty much touching it, I think is kind of wrong. Anyway, Robert Crawford, he's actually holding his own, to be honest, the light bulbs at the moment. They are losing. They are fighting guard lancers as well. And then we're going to see the KGL, the Green Rascals form up here. They just getting out of square. Why? I guess because the Lily Whites are coming up. They want to get a volley off on these Russians before they come in. Crawford's held, 90 men left. He's gone back in as the Russian player. I don't know what he's doing. He needs support, really. Does the British player out here? If he turns the foot guards, he could just get a good volley into the side of those. Crawford still is losing and he's dropping. He probably will die. volley there from the Russians. Are the KGL going to respond? No, and Crawford held just about. That's an expensive Lancer as well that the Russians have thrown in there. Got Dragoons here setting up. There you go. Beautiful volley from the KGL. That is going to just destroy these Russians there. Crawford can now get involved as well. Russia is also coming forward with more infantry. If the Toros wanted, they could probably try and catch the Russians on the march here. Get them in melee, though going into melee with the Guard probably not still the wisest idea. And Prussia has gone in for a charge here with the Dragoons. France tried a bit of a melee, did catch some of these Fusiliers. France and Russia are getting increasingly close to Allied lines here. They definitely need to pull back to the Brits, just give themselves a little bit more breathing space. Here go the Dragoons. They're going to form square here, and I bet you that... Oh, no, he's not actually. I was surprised the Russian player was not just going to stand on the corner again. There you go. Cossacks here getting taken out by the Lily Whites, but it looks like the Dragoons are going to come in and deal with the Hussars. If I was King's German Legion, I'd fall back now while the Dragoons are busy. There you go. Getting blasted whilst the square. They've lost a lot of troops already. There you go. The Dragoons were victorious on that flank for the Russians. We've got, yeah, that Guard Lancer returned as well, so that's not good. Prussia's now being forced to send Dragoons wide to support Britain here. Britain's also just about held another melee charge. And the Slashers doing their bit there. But it's all action on this flank. Nothing really going on our side at the moment right now. They're holding. They are holding. Another charge here. Failed charge. Is that the Hollandaise? I feel like that's the Dutch Grenadiers. Pretty good unit. But here we go. Melee charge going in just straight on into the Brits. This is really risky. It's going head on in. Grenadiers going in here for the French. They're done with standing in line. See whether they can hold. I mean, they are fighting the Northumberland. We've got, yeah, King's German Legion here trying to hold the line. Russia's also supporting this. Find the Toros, though. This is going to be a tough one. Yeah, there you go. The Grenadiers broke. That's going to influence, obviously, the Russians as well here. Another King's German Legion unit here. Giving some decent volleys off. The Toros continuing to melee. Russia, though, is slowly pushing back the Brits here. Like, these two units are absolutely battered. Crawford's here. And also the King's German Legion. So the Brits can't stand in this line, really. And actually, King's German Legion second light is broken. And Britain's bloodied them up pretty badly, but he needs to start withdrawing. Toros might need to be sacrificed here. Save the rest of the army. They broke. They broke pretty quickly, actually. 100 of them left. Jeez. General here's kind of open for Britain as well. We've got John O'Hope is sort of a little bit open there. But yeah, we have yet to really get into position. My army is slow getting forward. A lot of L2s and L3s. So yeah, we are pretty slow going as Russians. But once we get going, we will thunder through. I'm now taking over positions of the Prussians so they can move troops down the line to support Britain if needed. We've also got more Grenadiers in here. Fighting the Brits. But it is now a race of two flanks, really, because the French and the Russians have got the Brits on the run here. And Prussia might be soon to follow. But we vastly outpoint the person in front of us, because we are pretty much one and a bit armies over on the French here. So yeah, I need to get a move on, starting to push on the French here, trying to go after 1815, because 1815 is sort of shifting across both Prussia and also me. The thing is, most of my units are really squishy when it comes to morale. They may be big units, but most of them don't have great morale. So trying to push, it's got to be the right reason. And we're trying to soften these guys up as well with the howitzers. We brought all these Ottoman howitzers for a reason. And that is to basically just batter France, Italy into submission. That is the plan. But we don't have time. As you can see here, the squares of Britain are being formed. They've got a big cuirassier here that's now being thrown forward by the Prussians. This might be the Hail Mary to try and save the left flank here. Gaps being made. Don't know if these Russians can form square. They look like decent Russian infantry, though. Might be able to just about do that. And here we go. Gap was made. Yep, squares are formed though. And that cuirass needs to turn around. More Russian infantry holding it. Again, another cavalry unit going in. Dragoons. They farming the tow rows. Looks like they were. The cuirass just still standing here though. This guy needs to, the Prussian player here needs to get that out of there. That's for sure. I mean, he's microing elsewhere, I can imagine. He's losing infantry along the line here to our French artillery. But yeah, that cuirass is just stood here. There you go, get moving. There we go. Just got the shout now. Lost a lot of troops though. Tiny little, well, it's not even a gap really there, but the Cossacks, you can see what they're trying to do. That's not going to work, I don't think. Russia under a lot of pressure right now. And finally, we start to move forward as Russia and as Britain Ottomans as well. We are moving forward. I mean, to be honest, we can't even see the French in front of us now. We need to start swinging into the French here. These units are pretty small. Can probably overwhelm them. Still taking out French units though. I can see multiple units being taken out here. Prussia needs to get these guys back, but it's going to be difficult. Once they turn their back, France is going to charge them. Lots of allied infantry here though. I wouldn't say these are necessarily the sort of guys you want to be sending into battle. Yeah, lots of like German-minded city-states providing infantry there. Here we go again, going forward with the Lancers. Britain might be forced to form more squares. Yeah, France is pushing on. There's just too many gaps in Prussia's line now. And they're trying to fill them with cavalry, basically just standing in front of the French infantry. And just hoping that the French infantry will stay away. And there you go. Oh, that's not good. These Fusiliers here going into melee. Prussia does not want to be in melee. Especially against Russia. There you go, Fusiliers smashed. And now it's going to be Britain next. And you can probably use the Prussians as cover to sort of just charge on into the Brits. And there you go. Got the cavalry going in there. That's going to get that gun that's been stranded here for large amounts of battle. And here we go, Russia going in as well. The cuirass is going to take advantage. They're going to just probably take out gun and also French cav. And then just probably carry on into the French infantry behind. Russia's actually standing right in front of the Brits, firing volleys rather than going into melee. There goes the cuirass. They're hitting what looks like some Nassau infantry. There goes King's Own Royal. Holding the line. Routing some of these Russians finally, as I say, they are pretty big units of themselves. It's taken a while. Still no real proper engagement on this side, just sort of long distance musket volleys taking place right now. But it is pretty severe on this side now. Britain is a breaking point. And here comes the cuirass once again. If that can, this is the sort of Hail Mary, like I said, it's the only sort of thing that can really help win this. They're routing Russians there. That's good. Some more British infantry breaking here. That's not so great. The cuirass is obviously scaring off all cavalry. They routed a lot of Russians here. It's like the Crimean War. Russians fighting Brits. French are on the wrong side though. We've got a cavalry charge here coming in. A gap has been found and they're going to get these guns. Again, it looks like we've got another cuirassier here for Prussia. That's going in. I think they're just going to sacrifice their guns. The guns aren't well, they are very useless at this point in time. Britain has now finally been overwhelmed on this flank here. The slashers have slashed their last. And that is the left flank gone, as you can see. Entirely gone. Pretty much just, yeah, look, oh god, another howitzer here. I didn't realize the British brought one as well. But yeah, just pretty much cavalry. Cuirass is holding the flank here for Prussia, trying to do what they can. There's still some Prussian infantry further along. But yeah, now we are needing to get a move on here and just get into the fight. I've seen an opportunity, and all my grenadiers are forming column here. So there's a gap between what is 1815 and France-Italy. France-Italy is kind of pulling himself away from his allies. So I'm going to go in column and go through the gap here between the two, and then either go left or right and just kind of go down the line while supported by a Russian infantry here. That is the plan. But also, we're going to see a charge here from the Hussars. They're going to go in and they're going to go get these howitzers and also probably get this general. There you go, that's one general dead. Don't know if we can go and get these guns here. Might be able to get these ones as well. That's a general gone. And then I don't know if they'll be able to get the other gun as well. Might not be able to. No, they break on the square. There you go. Anyway, that is pretty much them dealt with. But that's a pretty good result there. I mean, that's France army now with no. I think that's 1815 with no generals, so that's pretty good. Pressure here. Looks like he's trying to turn his flank. It's not worked. Like most of his infantry is all L2s as well. I mean, apart from his. Like his fusiliers are the only sort of like speedy units he has. Trying to turn Prussia is like turning like a barge. Really, it takes a long time. Very unwieldy. But it's a very battered Russian and French force over here now. There's at least something. There's still some healthy Russian formations. But most like the French grenadiers are all gone. This is all like sort of like allied infantry. The Russians obviously just pretty much act as grenadiers. They're all very, very good at melee. And here we go. Columns going in on this side here as we have Russian grenadiers going in. They are going to go on in. Musketeers also going to go straight on in. Try and do their bit. But right in front of the French there got volleyed, to be honest, ourselves. And that's not so great. The Russian infantry here kind of suffering like the Musketeers. But my Grenadiers have smashed through. No surprise there. Gonna see where the squares can be formed, potentially, guys. There's cavalry coming in. Or not. Oh, no. Pavlov's Grenadiers form square. And there you go, yeah. Russian infantry is suffering here. I've got my cavalry coming up, though. We'll see whether my Musketeers can win this fight, then it's fine. Oh, that was probably a miss. That's just kind of just rear charge myself, except we've done more damage than good there. We've got more cavalry flanking around. I need to push 1815 now. He's generalless. He's got no well, yeah. He's generalless. He's got no generals. He's generalless. He's leaderless. His morale will be shattering. We can just get on around. But yeah, finally we're getting close enough to France, Italy that we can do some damage here. Charge from the dragoons here onto British squares. Stuart Minorcas are holding the line. They should have gone after the Ottomans, and they do bounce out of that and go for the Ottomans there. Another general dead. How did this one die? Oh, he's being got by Cuirassiers by the looks of it. How the heck they've got him, I do not know. Where have they come from? The woods? Prussia making one last defiant stand here. Decent volley as he goes in there. And the Fusiliers, that might give him a fighting chance, but nope, the Russians look like they've re-rallied. There you go, over on this side here, Russia is finally through. We've got our dragoons in here. What are they fighting? Oh, these are Carabineers. These are like Grenadier skirmishers. I do not want to be in melee with them, so I think I do try and pull out of melee with them. Desperately just trying to get that general instead. You can see France is trying to save him with everything he's got. Musketeers, they're being forced back. They're probably exhausted and, yeah, pretty spent. Yeah, but yeah, look at this. These Carabiners just chasing my dragoons down. Like, my dragoons like, no, we don't want to be involved in this. We do not want to fight you guys. Yeah, line fight taking place here. I'm falling back now because, yeah, as you can see, other Russia, which is going to start to get very confusing now, and what remains of France, have beaten Prussia here. Prussia's general's still alive, but that's it. But yeah, now obviously the left flank is very much open. My howitzer as well is going to be in danger soon, which is that's not really the end of the world. The howitzer's not really done a lot for a long, long time. But there you go, France. France's lead is gone. But the dragoons coming in the back. We managed to get the general. Also the line fights going on, but that was just a collapse after the grenadiers just went through the infantry there, which just then fell on the rest of the line, basically, with the Pavlovsk and also the Moskva grenadiers. It's not too bad, not too shabby. Now we're just running down a lot of these Frenchies here, making sure they don't return, so we can deal with the units in front of us rather than also worrying about anything respawning behind us. My hussars actually returned as well, which is a bit of a result. But yeah, this is concerning. It's like France and Russia here can just kind of keep going around the flank, and it's pretty much it has been a race of two flanks here. Just one side much quicker than the other one. But we have just about in time defeated our opponent. And now we've got to deal with the other Russia and the French. So, I mean, credit to Britain and to Prussia. They were fighting definitely way more points. I was kind of like in a limbo as where I needed to be, because Prussia was taking up so much space. I was like, well, that's fine. You can take up all the space. And the plan was to try and overwhelm France, Italy, and then just kind of hit them on the flank. But the French much quicker than us. Oh. Cav charge here. Oh, and he didn't charge. I think he thought I was going to fire canister. Instead, I did not fire canister, and he stopped. And he actually routed. Which is kind of funny. So the look at that, the howitzer actually scaring off French cavalry. Sorry, Russian cavalry. From just the sheer thought of canister, the sheer threat. Prussia's still getting his general alive. I don't know if he's hoping that some of his infantry might return. Don't think any of it will. Probably has been thoroughly farmed down. We need to keep these Ottoman gun emplacements alive. We cannot afford them to fall. Mine, it's not the end of the world. That can die. Tiny little howitzer position in comparison to the Ottoman position. Yeah, the Grenadiers are all forming up again. They're all on the right flank this time. So the idea this time is to go down the right flank and then try and smash through the French here, because this is all 1815 if I remember. This is the leaderless army, so these guys will probably have pretty dubious morale, and that nearly worked, but it did not quite work. I managed to rout one French unit, but yeah, that hussar definitely could have done a better job of trying to save its own gun there. And now we're going to see the French counter that with some Chevaliers. I think these are Westphalian Chevaliers. And they're going to get the gun, I think. We've got Ottoman cavalry going in. And actually, no, the gun survives. If they can get back on there and just get canister going, they're cooking on gas. Battle for that gun, it really has been. Yeah, as you can see, France can withdraw. They know. They can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get cavalry in behind as well. I've got plenty of dragoons left still to be used. Got another one here, which is really healthy. I'm also kind of waiting for Ottomans to still get into position, though, so we can use them. And there goes the Ottoman cav again, going in. And fire canister. I might have helped rout that Ottoman cavalry ever so slightly. There literally was like one model that I might have hit there. We did hit the grenadiers there. Here come the French infantry. It's Neapolitans? I'm not quite sure what uniform this is, and they didn't charge properly. They're going to get the gun, though. Congratulations, you finally took that Russian howitzer. It's only cost them like 2-3 infantry units and a cav unit. Worth it in my eyes. But the Grand Battery still survives, which is great to see. Yeah, I've got a Strelky over here as well, sort of guarding that flank, so if they try anything, we'll just shoot them. There you go, the howitzers are in action once again. Shooting into the Russians. Russian general is still alive, but I think any French troops now do not have generals. There's the Russian general, but yeah, any French troops on the battlefield are leaderless by the looks of it. And we've also got John Hope still alive here. We've kept all of our generals alive. Congrats! Even the armies with no armies still have their generals. Russia here on the front line with Kalkruf. And now it's Russians fighting Russians. A sad day for the motherland. And here goes some Scipii cav. They're going in. What are they going for? Oh, they see a gap. They're going for the general. It's a good gap as well, he's seen. Instead, he's going to get stuck, I think, on this infantry here. He's going to try and pull out. He routs the Russian. I mean, routs the Russian by basically retreating. Or did Kalkruf route it? You could argue Kalkruf did it. But this is the weak spot, evidently, here where these Russians are orange line. And this might be the spot to go through. France is kind of pushing me at the moment here. I was like, oh god, I got to turn my line. Get more infantry, but I'm shifting my reserves that I have over to the right flank because Ottomans are kind of taking over my left. We are going to get rid of a fair few of these Russians. I mean, they might also be redlining just because of howitzers, to be honest, which is also potential. Look at this. We've got 3 French units here being sent to go and deal with my dragoons and then also a general. That's kind of impressive. That's a lot of distraction there. Those guys could be on the front line trying to hold there. But yeah, they're redlining already. These guys are thin on the ground when it comes to numbers. I ideally do not want my Moskova like grenadiers in this fight, in this gunfight. They're not winning it, that's for sure. They don't shoot, these guys. They do melee. I mean, these Pavlos grenadiers have something like 20-something melee. They need to get bayonets twirling, really. I just, unfortunately, kind of out of position, and my musketeers were not ready to really take the front line. And the grenadiers were just sitting behind safely. More routing Russians, as you can see. They're falling back now as well. The Frenchies routing here as well. And there goes Kalkruf. Is he just farming? What a cheeky boy. Oh, he's just going to go for the... I think he's going to go and charge these Russians as they retreat, which is kind of funny. And there you go. My Strelki gets taken out on the flank by the remaining Russian cavalry, which is fine. That's a good trade, to be honest. Dragoon taking out 2 Strelki, but the Strelki, you know, helping to take the Dragoon. I'm fine with that. That Dragoon definitely costs more than my Strelki. Here we go. We've got skirmishers setting up on this flank here. It's going to be a solid, just harassing flank. What broke over here? Just musketeers, thankfully. Not my grenadiers, that's the main thing. Pavlos grenadiers, though, are down to 87. They are thin on the ground. General killed. Oh, that's the Prussian one going in. Yep, he's finally got himself killed. Well done, him. But at this point, I think it's kind of curtains for the French and the Russians. Britain and Prussia did enough that they weakened them. And also that general being killed by the cuirassier, I think, has made a massive difference as well. We've got my Dragoon in behind here. I'm trying to go for generals. The British general, by the way, is also routed. He's attempted to go for the Russian general here. He tried to charge in on a one-on-one. Didn't work. The howitzer is still howitzering, causing all sorts of morale issues here. And here come the Russians. The line has not been formed up by the French in time. And here we go. Oh god, that's a pretty brutal volley. That one might break. But the Pavlos Grenadiers have got in against the Laguerre. Here come the Dragoons. Going to smash into them. And now we're going to see a charge from the Grenadiers here as well. But there you go. Dragoons and Pavlos Grenadiers doing their bit. Pavlos Grenadiers is going to charge into the square. That's fine. And now my infantry as well should also just be able to get in and get stuck in amongst these Frenchies. I have no morale. We also got cavalry coming in here as well, looks like, from the Ottomans. They've just gone through. I mean, they've also just blitzed like the Russians and the French from them. They just stood there volleyed by the looks of it. Here come the Dragoons. They're going to go after the general. They need to be careful. There's a square they're just going to run onto. the Grenadiers looks like they should defeat these French. There you go. I think he's also supported by all the Russian infantry here, just shooting at them. The howitzers, of course, as well. And I think the Russian general survived, and there you go. He should be killed off here by Ottoman cavalry. There you go, and that should be a capitulation and a victory here for, well, Russia and for the Ottomans. No one else survived. Britain and Russia are long gone. But yeah, that was a race of two flanks. It really was, and it kind of, yeah. I mean, it was very scary at one moment when we basically not engaged, and it looked like the left flank had already gone. But yeah, we went as quickly as we could, and our strategy worked in the end. Just about, and luckily Britain and Prussia, like I said, did enough damage to those two other armies. When they eventually got to us, were just a bit too beaten up. We luckily still had lots of assets when it came to like artillery, or like howitzers at least, cavalry, and also abundance of infantry left. In comparison to the French, who had obviously a lack of generals, still had a fair amount of infantry, but yeah, no real cavalry and no artillery either. But yeah, there you go. That is today's NTW3 battle. I hope you did enjoy. Hopefully the end results have been displayed for you as well, while I've been yapping away there. I did pretty well in this one. I think I got like 1,900 kills, if I remember. And I think Jack maybe did a little bit better, I think, as Prussia. I think someone definitely outscored me. Might have been Jack. But yeah, really, really good result for everyone. Well played by both sides, to be honest. France and also the coalition did a really good job in this one. It was a really, really well-matched sort of game, I thought. Like I said, with what felt like a disaster on the left flank, but then slow success on the right flank that eventually just started to snowball really, really nicely. We'll have a quick look at the unit stats. My Dragoons, they're getting 245 kills, is pretty solid as well. I think that might be the the Kazan, that might be killing off the Italian army. And then we've got Grenadiers of Moscow, 217 kills. Dragoons getting 158. The Pavlos Grenadiers, 150 kills for them. The other Moscow Grenadier getting 124 kills. And then my infantry doing okay. I definitely could have done played a better game, but it was a good enough game. That is for sure. But yeah, there are all of the kills, and I hope you did enjoy the battle. If you want to see more NTW3 battles on the channel, do check out the videos appearing on your screen now. But until next time, folks, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.